ready? Sadly, it has been, and that means I have to do another Wimpy Kid ranking. I've done a Wimpy Kid ranking for the past 5 years now, and it just gets more fun every time. No, but seriously, I can't believe it's been a year already. I remember like it was yesterday, me sitting here and ranking the books. But before we get into the ranking, let's take a quick look back at the Wimpy Kid videos I made in 2021. So obviously I started off with a ranking video, and then I didn't post for a while. I came back with I'm done making Wimpy Kid videos. Here's the face of every fan that saw that notification. But all you have to do is look at the date on that video and you'll get the joke. Then I did a review on the third rally book. So if you want my full opinion on it, just watch that review. YouTube was removing a couple Wimpy Kid videos, but it's all good now. And then you just have like random ones like this compilation video, the Mad Libs, and the biggest one of all, Wimpy Kid covers our weird series. This series blew up this year. You guys loved it. I made 8 parts so far, and the rest of it was just random stuff. I did another do-it-yourself reaction. I did a review on Big Shot, the new Disney Plus movie, all that good stuff. But now we're here to rank the books. Let's get into it. So the last one on my list shouldn't be surprising at all. It's Double Downs. How many times in a row can I explain how I don't like this book? The book doesn't have any new ideas. It's forgettable, sloppy, all over the place, not a fun read, and just very boring. I never will go back to this book to read it. I just never will. When I think Wimpy Kid, I'm thinking the original, Dog Days, Rodrick, all those early ones. This, I forget even exists until I do these videos. It's like my yearly checkup on this book to know that it's still alive. Oh yeah, Double Down. Forgot I own this. But basically, I have nothing new to add this year. It's the same criticisms, same video. Why do I keep doing these? But it's alright overall. Uh-oh, it's funny joke time. But I'm actually not gonna be doing what you expect this year with this DVD. It's new year, new me, and I don't want to destroy this thing anymore. I've been through the battles with it. What's the point? It keeps coming back anyway. So I figured this year I'm gonna be actually nice to it. Yep, I know, it's a little crazy, but I'm not gonna be mean to this anymore. Let's move on. Oh shoot! The second rally book that came out. Never been a big fan of this. Just pretend you don't see the posters. But this one, in my opinion, is very bad. It has the same problems as Double Down, all over the place, very sloppy, all these new characters you don't care about. Maybe if you did, the book would be better, but you don't, and the jokes just don't land. Greg repeats the same thing over and over like I do in these videos, but even worse somehow. This is another one of those books in the series where I'm just never going to read it again, and that's a big problem. You want your book to be reread. I don't even think a preschooler will want to read this again, and that's why this book is so bad. I mean, really, that's it. It's hard for me to think of new stuff after doing these videos for so long. Bad book, just don't read it. Who am I kidding though? You probably all read this book already, so who am I stopping? But it's alright overall. Next up, no surprise, Third Wheel. It's everything you've heard. I don't like how out of character Greg feels in this. Yes, he's always liked girls, but this is just insane. I mean, he's literally like a simp in this book. Simp, is that still like a meme? Okay, I'll stop being cringy. This book is just really bad. Again, same problem with the other two. Forgettable for me. And no, I don't just have like a brain problem. I actually forget what happens in this, because I can remember a lot of the Wimpy Kid books that I read. You know, I haven't read Cabin Fever in like a long time, but I remember everything that happens in it. How come I don't with this one? Because it's just not that memorable. But it's still not as bad as the other two. There's at least some good parts in it, and you can read it if you really want to. The other two, I don't even think you can get through. You have to really push yourself. So yeah, I recommend don't reading it, but I know there's going to be 1,000 comments saying why it's good, so make sure you leave it below. Hold on guys, I'm running out of jokes. I need to recreate one from the last one. What is this lovey-dovey BS? I want manly stuff. Yeah! Woohoo! Please sub. I have nothing going for me in life. But it's alright overall. Alright, the deep end. I say this book was a very good example of just laziness. You guys know the drill. It's the same story. Greg goes on another road trip for the 5,000th time. More times than I milked this ranking thing. And I mean, that's pretty bad, but the road trip story is just, it's so old. I want something new with Wimpy Kid, and I'll get into that later. This deep end felt like a fan-made book rather than Jeff Kenny actually writing it. But it is signed by Jeff Kenny, so that's kind of cool. But other than that, even Jeff Kenny's signature couldn't bless this book. It's just too predictable for me to like. I read it and I instantly regret the 7 hours it took me to read this. I know guys, I don't want to brag, but I'm a really fast reader. I don't like the direction of this book, too generic, but the series is looking promising with the new book that I'll get into later. But it's alright overall. Oh, I feel something in my stomach. It's this. What a lovely surprise. Guys, we all need to be kind to this thing. Come on everybody, put in the comments how much you love this movie. Whoops, I don't know what happened. I dropped it out of my hand. Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid, Riley Jefferson's journal. Listen, I'll be honest, I really don't hate this book that much. I may have been a little harsh to this book in my original review, but I really do honestly find this book kind of funny. But the reason I put it so low is because there's really no point to it, and it didn't stand out enough to where I'd be like, you have to read this. Yes, it's very funny, and I give it that, but this book just felt like, to me, a throwback to the original. Jeff Kenny was trying to, like, bring the fans back with this book, and I guess it does work. It is funny, but it doesn't stand on its own enough, and I bet a lot of people wouldn't even know this exists, let alone remember that it exists. But I do have to ask this. We got a Rally book, so it's not impossible for Jeff Kenny to make spin-off books. Alright, where is the Rodrick book? I'm being serious. Like, I want to read that Rodrick book. I'd be more excited than any of the Greg books. Rodrick's the best character. Everybody knows it. He deserves his own book. What he does with the band or at the house or messes with Greg and stuff like that. Maybe they can even go back for a prequel book of him in school. That'd be kind of cool to see, but anything would be better than picking Rally for a book. Yeah, Rally's kind of cool and all, whatever, but like Jeff Kenny, I'm telling you, if you want to make some money, make that Rodrick book. I'll buy 10 copies. Also, I'll buy 10 copies of Long Haul. But it's alright overall. Here comes the next book. Oh! Wrecking Ball. So, Wrecking Ball was a book that I originally read and really liked, and now I look back on that like I'm stupid. Why did I think this book was so good? I don't know. The book is honestly kind of bad. I always talk about how I like realness in the Wimpy Kid book series. I feel like it's a series where you can relate to the kid. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You can be the kid in middle school and relate to him. Stuff like this just goes so far out of the realm of possibility that it doesn't even make the book good. It actually makes it worse. I'm not here to read a fantasy book series or anything like that. If I wanted something trash like that, I can read Dork Diaries. I want a more grounded Greg. I don't want to see Manny building a house and going crazy. I don't want to see Manny at all, actually, but I especially don't want to see him building a house. What kind of logic is this? Yeah, I get it. There's some crazy moments in Wimpy Kid, but this book pushes it to no end. And the whole plot's just kind of boring, too. It's like they don't want to live in their house. Boo-hoo. It's like they have to redo their house. How am I relating to that? They have a bunch of money that they can spend on just remodeling? Boo-hoo. They can't live in their $50,000 mansion. Yeah, so Wrecking Ball just doesn't do it for me, and I don't like it, but it's alright overall. Need to stay awake. I'm awake now. Let's keep ranking them. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Getaway. Alright guys, I want you to take a wild guess on what I'm gonna say. It's the same old story. It's an original story. Yeah, it's the same old story. Honestly, I'll give this book a little credit. It's not the same thing. They go to a completely different place that none of the Wimpy Kid books have really touched into yet. They go on a plane, they fly to a different place. So that's kind of interesting, but once they get there, it feels like they should have just never left. It's the same old wacky stuff on a trip. Greg's destroying stuff. What's he gonna do? You know everything's gonna be fine in the end. There's no suspense, no build-up, just a very bland book. Like, am I gonna remember this book? Take a guess, guys. No, I won't, but it's alright overall. Man, I'm looking at these and I can't believe how many books there are. It's like 19 now. Guys, look, I'm gonna show you that I'm really nice. I'm gonna feed the Long Haul Pringles. That's what you bring on a road trip, right? Look, guys, I'm feeding him. Leave likes, subscribe. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Hard Clock. This is a book that grew on me a lot over the years. When I first read it, I didn't really like it, and after repeat readings, it started to get better as I read it. It's a whole new concept. I like how this one, Greg is really down and out. It's something different. I mean, yes, he's always down and out, but this book really focuses on it a lot more, which I think really helps the book. It was something fresh, and I actually like this one a lot. It's nothing crazy good. Like, I'm not over here recommending this to every Wimpy Kid lover, but I do enjoy it for what it is. It's a little slow, but I can get past that. Hard Luck is a good one that I think a lot of people look over, including myself. I did as well. Now, it's like almost a tradition. I have to ask the Magic 8 Ball a question. Look at that. I always love showing the dust on this thing every year. I don't use the Magic 8 Ball, but I don't know what's it doing in that back there because it had a kid. The Magic 8 Ball got pregnant and had a baby. I'm gonna ask the baby something. Forget this old dusty piece of shit. Is it a new year, new me, and I'll be nice to the Long Haul? Maybe. Very fitting answer. I mean, no, it's not. I love the Long Haul. New me, new year. But it's alright overall. Alright, up next is one of the newer books, Riley Jefferson's Spooky Stories. Man, do I wish I could just put the old review in this. oh, I have to say new stuff. So I did a review on this book back in April. You can check that out. My full review is in that video. But basically, I actually don't hate this book that much. So it has a bunch of different stories of all Halloween related stuff in it. You don't really see the main character, Raleigh or Greg, in this a lot. It's all new people. But I think it works because it's different stories rather than the whole book being new characters. I mean, the title is called Spooky Stories, so you know what you're getting into by buying it. I think it worked well. The stories were entertaining. I actually had a fun time reading this book, and I really don't have a lot to complain about. It may drag on, some of the parts are kind of dumb, and there's not a lot of Raleigh and Greg in this, but I think for what it is, it's an enjoyable read that people can enjoy. But it's alright overall. Oh shoot, I'm recording. I didn't know. You guys didn't see that, right? Come on, we're cool here, right? Alright, we got the Meltdown. I feel like I'm gonna have a meltdown if I keep going. Everyone loved the Meltdown when it came out. You guys loved this book. Now I hear nothing about it. But I actually still do kind of like it. I like the snow theme a lot. I don't think it's as good as Cabin Fever, but the snow theme is pretty good still. You get to see more of Greg and Raleigh's relationship, friendship. Well, I mean, who knows at this point? I've seen some stuff. But you see more of that, and that's really cool with other people they're interacting with. So you get to see a lot of new characters interact with Raleigh and Greg. And why this is good compared to other books is because you actually get to see a lot of Greg and Raleigh versus all new characters, and there's no main characters. I only care about new characters if Greg or Raleigh is there with them. They can't just be on their own. That's boring. Nobody likes them. And that basically sums up how I feel about Meltdown, but it's alright overall. Okay, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Long Haul. The book. Obviously, I mean, why would I be talking about the movie? The book is alright. When this was made, there weren't a lot of road trip books yet in the Wimpy Kid series, so I think it had that going for it. If there was a bunch of other road trips before this, I feel like it would have been a lot worse, but because there isn't, this book actually is not that bad. It's a fun road trip. I mean, very generic. You know what's gonna happen, but isn't that like almost every Wimpy Kid book? No. That's why the good ones are at the top. This one's not at the top. It's not the worst thing ever. The road trip's fine. There's some funny moments. What more could you ask for out of a Wimpy Kid book? Maybe some better writing. I could ask for that, but what can you ask for and actually receive in a Wimpy Kid book? Probably just what this book offers. Like, I'm not gonna go into detail about the book versus the film. You know what happened. I mean, come on, like, at this point, you just never seen my channel if you don't know how bad the movie is. I mean, good. New Year's stuff. What was the joke? I hope you realize I'm very consistent with my jokes. I remember all of them. Do I still like Greg's mom? Is she my girlfriend or wife at this point? I have no idea. But it's alright overall. For this one, we have the newest Wimpy Kid book so far, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Big Shot. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Big Shot was actually a very pleasant surprise. It's the newest Wimpy Kid book, and I actually liked it. I know, it's very, very shocking, but I'm not lying. Like the other ones, I have a whole review on this. If you want to check it out, go right ahead. It's a pretty funny review. But Diary of a Wimpy Kid Big Shot blew me away because it was very different from what we have seen so far. New as in it didn't feel like the other Wimpy Kid books so far, like the newer ones. It wasn't a road trip, actually. It was about Greg on a basketball team, and it was a lot more focused and an original idea. This is all the stuff I've been asking for so long now. All I wanted was a book that was focused on one idea, maybe two, fleshed out the characters in that particular story, and not a road trip. But it's alright overall. I have to say, this next book I really changed my mind about a lot over the years. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Old School is kind of good. I feel like this book barely gets talked about. It's one of the most forgotten Wimpy Kid books, I feel like, and it's kind of a shame because it's actually good. Greg does a bunch of stuff for the community and stuff like that. Just a new and fresh original idea, and I just like the storyline of it. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this book. Maybe it just didn't have enough funny moments in it for people to remember it, but I never hated it. But it's gone up a lot on my list the more I think about it. But it's alright overall. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw. If you watch my ranking videos in the past, you know that this book was very low, but my opinion on it has changed a lot. First of all, it has a lot of elements from the Dog Days film that I forgot about. I haven't read The Last Straw in so long, up until recent, and it's not bad. The one thing I've always liked is you see more of Greg's dad. I feel like he's always a forgotten character in every book besides this one. It's like the only book where he's in the front of the line and not in the back just depressed. And I like how there's a big the end at the end of the book, like it was going to be the last one. We all know how that went. But it's alright overall. For this next book, my opinion has changed probably the most. Dive a Wimpy Kid, The Ugly Truth. I hated this book originally. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I actually like see what's happening in this book. This book talks a lot about getting older. I feel like this book isn't really for kids to understand. I mean, okay, that's taking it too far. Kids will understand it, but not in the same way as when you're actually older. Greg deals with a lot of older things in this book, like going to parties, talking to the right person, who your real friends are, stuff like that kids, I feel like, don't even think about. Like, honestly, every year it gets better and better for me. But it's alright overall. Cabin Fever, one of the most iconic Wimpy Kid books. Greg's trapped in a house and he needs to find stuff to do. Original, funny, and good. But it's alright overall. Alright, we're getting close to the bottom. We got the original. I mean, do I really need to explain? The original is so good. It's relatable. It's what started the series. Without this book, none of the other ones would exist. It has a great movie to it. Great cast of characters. Sadly, you'll never see those characters again. Apparently, they all died. Like Patty, Shirag, all of them. They're just gone. Sadly, they were great characters, but I guess their time had came and they died. Rip. But it's alright overall. Alright, number 2, we have Rodrick Rules. In my opinion, the best sequel to a book. Okay, I don't know about best, but it's up there. Rodrick Rules does everything you would want a sequel to do. Something new. It builds on more of the characters that you didn't see a lot of in the original. Rodrick's the best character, so how could you not like this book? I mean, people say to this day that this is their favorite, and it probably would be mine too if I wasn't so nostalgic for the last book. But this one is great. I read this one probably the most out of all of them. Probably this one or tied with the other one that I'm about to get into that you all know. But it's alright overall. And now for the last one, number 1, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. My favorite, I'm most nostalgic for it. My first Wimpy Kid book that I ever read. Got me into the series. Great writing. I love the summer feeling. I say that line every year. But it's alright overall. And just like that, the book ranking video is over. Okay, I'll remove this stupid hair. But that's it for my ranking video. Like I said, a lot of them hasn't changed. Some of them has. But I think Long Haul's getting a little cranky. I might have to put him to bed.
Here we go. All right. Tucked into bed.
But overall, it's alright.
Leave me here, you were never good enough. Won't change a thing now, there was never trust. Don't you say a word, cause I've heard it all. You were just a pain when you felt it all. Oh.